In a previous video, I went through these definitions, and so I'm just going to kind of leave them up here for our reference. And I did that first example at this x minus 3 equals 7. I'm going to now do the next two, and I'm going to do this very formally and very exactingly. We're going to do that first before we learn any tricks. Then, after we feel comfortable with that, then I'll teach you some tricks. But don't do the tricks until you understand them, which means you have to do it the long way first. Okay, so we have the equation x plus 5 equals 4. Now, the addition principle says whenever I have two equal numbers, I can add the same thing to both sides. Here I have two equal numbers, a and b. Again, they never said what they had to look like, just that they were real numbers. Okay, later on you can take that real number thing off. We have other ways to do it, but for right now we're not going to worry about it. But I want to choose a number that I can add to both sides so that I get x plus 0. The reason I want x plus 0 is because 0 plus anything is that something. So once I get it into this form, I can just take away that plus 0. So the question I have for myself is, what can I add to both sides so that when I add 5 to this thing that I'm gonna choose, I get 0, and it's its inverse. And so we're gonna take x, and I'm gonna kind of separate these out. I'm gonna do this in green. X plus 5 equals 4, and in white, this is the number I'm going to choose, plus a negative 5 plus a negative 5. This is what corresponds to the addition principle. I'm adding a number to both sides. When I do that, this right here becomes 0. I did that on purpose, and so I can bring down everything else. But now on the other side here, this we can do because 4 plus a negative 5 is a negative 1. And you may already have known the answer when we started, but we're just going to kind of let it be for right now and do this step by step, very formally, and then again, you can do it faster when you get more proficient at it. And so finally what I can do is I can take this, and that I know to be x, because the definition of additive, the additive identity is 0. And so x is equal to negative 1. Now to check this, to see, okay, do I have it correct? Well, what I can do then is I can take this value, and wherever I see an x back up here in the original function, or the original equation, I can go ahead and put that value in for x and see if it's true. So I have, I'm going to put this in yellow, negative 1 plus 5 equals 4. Is that true? Well, negative 1 plus 5 is in fact 4. So 4 equals 4. True. So my answer of x equals negative 1 is a good answer. And you can check each one of these just like that. Okay, let's work on this second one here. X minus 6 equals a negative 10. And so again, recall that I have the setup of two numbers are equal to one another, and I can add a number to both sides, and I'm okay. Well, the number I want to add, I want to choose so I get x plus 0. That's my goal. So the question is, what do I have to add to negative 6 to make that happen? I got x minus 6 equals negative 10. Okay, but I have, and I'm going to do this in white again, I have plus 6, because a negative 6 plus 6 will give me 0. I chose that on purpose. Two things that always scared me in mathematics. The first one was I strangely came across quite a few times in the upper level courses, and they said, it is easy to see that. As soon as I saw it is easy to see that, I said, it is not easy to see that. because inevitably they said, oh, well, it's easy to see that this happens. And that was about 14 steps of math. So I got really used to not liking that at all. On this right side, we're going to get negative 10 plus 6, which is negative 4. The other thing that scared me was choose. Inevitably, when it said choose, I had a tough time making the choice because I didn't know what I was looking for. That's one of those reasons why I'm very insistent that you know what you're looking for, then you choose. And so our goal is to get x plus 0, because when we do that, x plus 0 is just x, and that means we solve for x. That's my goal. So now that I know what my goal is, I can make that choice based on what I know, not on a guess. Okay, so for this final step here, we've got x plus 0, which is x. That's negative 4. So now the question is, does it work? Well, plug it in. Negative 4 minus 6 equals negative 10. This, negative 4 minus 6, is negative 10, and so negative 10 equals negative 10. That's true. So we're finished. Start off doing this for the first 3 times. Don't jump into the shortcuts yet. I'll give you a couple shortcuts. Don't worry. I'm not going to leave you hanging.